Guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited about today's video because we're talking about my favorite thing of all time when it comes to makeup, and that is foundation. If you are new to my channel, I have to say that hands down, foundation is the best part of my makeup routine. It's the part I get the most excited about. It's the part I feel is the most transformative. It's the product I love the most. I love trying out new foundations. I have way too many of them in my collection, but truly they are my favorite. Bronzers, a close second, but foundations definitely get the first spot. So what we're doing today is we're talking about my stick foundations. I'm not talking about stick foundations in general because I have made the blanket statement before and I still stand by it that the majority of stick foundations do not work for me. I have normal to sometimes dry, but pretty much all the time normal skin. So I feel like I can use a lot of foundations, like pretty much a lot of them, even if they're for oily skin or dry skin, tend to work for me. Stick foundations for some reason just don't. I have tried lots of them that I don't like, that other people love. I don't like the Hourglass one. I don't like the Lancome one. I'm not a huge fan of the Makeup Forever one. I love how it looks for like a couple hours and then it just totally breaks apart on my skin. I just don't roll with the masses when it comes to stick foundations, let me say. However, I was thinking about it the other day. I do have 4 in my collection that I do use on a regular basis. So I thought I would kind of do a battle of the stick foundations. So I took 4 days where I wore one of these each day. I will cut away to those days of me applying the foundation, what it looks like right after I applied it, and what it looks like after I have finished my entire face of makeup while I am talking about that certain foundation. I did use the same primer and the same powder every single day. I even wore the same shirt every single day so that lighting would not manipulate anything. That way you will get the truest sense of how each foundation looks on my skin. The foundations we are going to be talking about today are the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation Stick, the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Hydrating Foundation Stick, the Tom Ford Traceless Foundation Stick, and the Westman Atelier Vital Skin Foundation Stick. So typically I don't go in any kind of order in these videos. Sometimes I will save my favorite for last, but I thought that I would go in order from least favorite to favorite, because what I did was each day, y'all know I'm a note taker. This notebook stays in the top drawer of my vanity, and I take lots and lots of notes for y'all about how things work for me, what I like about them, what I don't like about them. Did they sink into my smile lines? Were they easy to blend out? Did they last through a workout? Did they last at all? Even just a regular day? That kind of stuff. I also took lots of notes in this notebook that's downstairs by my computer about the claims of the foundations, how much they cost, how much is in each stick as far as amount of product, who is it best for, so on and so on. Really quick before I go into my starting at 4 all the way down to 1, I have to say that just because number 4 is my least favorite of these does not mean that I do not like it. And I don't need anybody telling me, oh, you're applying it wrong. This is what you need to do. I'm not trying to say that in a mean way, but I mean, I know how to apply makeup and I've tried these many ways, which brings me to the application method of choice for stick foundations for me is a foundation brush. It's pretty much my application method of choice for all of it. And it is the It Cosmetics Double-Ended number 7 Heavenly Luxe Complexion Brush. The primer I used every day is the Color Science Brightening Perfecting Powder. This is my favorite primer. This is my favorite primer of all time, hands down. And the Well People Bio Brightener Powder, which is a powder that works with pretty much every foundation I own. So I wanted to make sure those were consistent as well. So let's go ahead and start. We are going to start out with my least favorite of the 4, and it might surprise you because it is the Westman Atelier Vital Skin Foundation Stick. Now, this one only comes in 12 shades. It's the least amount of shades of all the ones that I'm going to talk about. It comes in 0.31 ounces, which 4 sticks is a pretty reasonable size. I feel like most stick foundations, other than one I'm going to talk about, come in about 0.3 to 0.4 ounces. And it's $68. Comes in this really nice luxe packaging. Gucci Westman is a makeup artist and she designed this line of products. They are all clean. This is vegan. They don't have any added, fragrance. This one does have alcohol in it. It's pretty far down the list, but it has no fragrance. It has no, phthalates or parabens or any of that stuff. It also has no silicones. So a couple of the key ingredients are squalene, it's vegetable derived, berry flux vita, which is for moisture, camellia seed oil, which protects from environmental pollutants, and coconut oil, which rejuvenates dry skin. So do be aware that this does have coconut oil in it if you are sensitive to coconut oil. Now, I had a couple of people comment on my Kjaer Weis foundation review, which also has coconut oil in it, saying nobody should do coconut oil. It's so bad for your skin, blah, blah, blah. No, if you are sensitive to coconut oil, yes, you should steer clear of it. Same with gluten in your diet or grains or, that's pretty much self-explanatory, I feel like. I am not sensitive to coconut oil. It does not break me out. It does not bother me. It is not pore clogging on me. So I do not have an issue with it. So if you do, steer clear of this. If you don't, you can use it. Now, I'm going to switch over to me using this and tell you about how I felt about it and why it is the least favorite of the 4. It does have a lighter coverage. It claims to have like a medium coverage. I feel like it's pretty much the lightest coverage out of all the ones I'm going to talk about. It does have a natural finish on me, which I love. Love a natural finish. I don't feel like it's too matte. I don't feel like it's too dewy. I will say that at the end of my makeup application, it looked really good. Like really good. But a couple of reasons that it's in my number 4 spot is that it was a little harder to blend out for me. It always has been. Even if I used a sponge or a different brush, it's always been the hardest of the 4 to blend out for me. I do feel like I have to use more product than normal to get the coverage that I want because it does, start out as a sheer to light coverage. I did have a little bit of dryness from my retinol on my forehead this day, and it really did not look good on that. Did not perform well over that. It has not performed well over that with a sponge because I know some people are going to say you shouldn't use a brush when you have, any kind of peeling. Totally understand, but it's the same way over a sponge. It doesn't sit as well over dry skin for me as it does over normal skin. And as the day went on, even though after I got done with my makeup, it looked absolutely gorgeous, and it does for the first few hours, I felt like this was the worst wearing on me throughout the day. It got a little patchy, it didn't hold up as well, and it got really shiny on me throughout the day. And it wasn't like a pretty dewy shine. It was, oh, I think I might actually need to touch up shine. I didn't touch up. I wanted to, see how it got, and it wasn't unbearable. It wasn't like greasy by the end of the day, but out of the 4, it was the shiniest on me by the end of the day. So even though all of that said, and even though it's in the number 4 spot, I still really like this. It is $68, and I did divide everything by the amount of grams you get. So this is actually the most expensive one I'm going to talk about per gram. It is $7.55 per gram. So keep that in mind. You don't get a ton of product. It is a luxury item, I know, but it did get my number 4 spot. All right, let's go on to the number 3 spot. I will say the number 3 and number 2 were very neck and neck. The major component that kept me from choosing 3 over 2 is the finish. I just prefer the finish of number 2 a little bit more. But other than that, they are very similar. And this is still an amazing foundation. So number 3 spot goes to the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation Stick. This comes in 30 shades, so a lot more options than the Westman Atelier. It's the same exact size. It's 0.31 ounces and 9 grams, but it's only $46. So it comes out to $5.11 a gram. So a lot cheaper per gram than the Westman Atelier, as well as being cheaper overall. This claims to have a medium coverage, and then it claims to be for all skin types. I don't necessarily think it's for all skin types personally, but that's what it claims. And it also claims to have a natural finish, which I do agree with. It says that it has ingredients like olive extract and shea butter to not only combat shine, but also add moisture. Again, those are very different kind of oxymoron type things that I don't quite know if I believe one foundation can do perfectly for both issues, needing moisture and having oily skin. I'm just not there yet. It claims to be water, sweat, and humidity resistant. It does have squalene in it, but it is low on the deck of ingredients. However, this is one of the lower amount of ingredients total foundations that I'm going to talk about. Like, the ingredient list is not that long. Now, you can look and see what you think about what the ingredients are, but I will say there is no alcohol and no fragrance. So let's cut away to me using this foundation while I talk about how it wore on me. I am 100% in line with it saying it has a natural finish. It has one of the most natural finishes of all the ones I'm going to talk about. It was not flat matte, but it was just a really nice skin-like finish. This one lasts all day long on me. Like, I had no patchiness. I had no shininess. Like, what it looked like when I first got done is what it looked like at the end of the day. I don't have any issue. I've heard of people having issue with it becoming too shiny on them. It's just going to be a personal preference. But for me, it lasts all day long. Again, it's not too matte. It's not too dewy. The perfect natural finish. Looks really amazing on the skin. Is very skin-like. I do believe that, you know, the name suits a skin foundation stick. I do feel like it does look like skin. It is buildable though, so you can get almost a full coverage out of this. It's going to be more on the medium to full side than full, but they only claim it to be a medium coverage, so, you know, I'm okay with that. And it blends really easily, like really easily. I don't have to tug on my skin. I don't feel like there's any patchiness. I don't have to go back. It's very quick to apply. So all of those reasons are why it got the number 3 spot for me. I am in the color, I should tell you this, Natural. And then I'm in the color Atelier 3 in the Westman Atelier. I will probably have written it down here. Now, I should have said this in the intro. I took off about a week of self-tanning, so I'm well aware that some of these colors are way too dark for me. As I'm applying them, my face is always lighter than my body, so my foundations always look lighter than my face, but some of them are too dark for me. You know, I bought them at different times of the year. I bought them in the summer versus the winter. I bought them when I'm self-tanning versus when I'm not. This is more about the actual foundation, not the color, so I'm aware. All right, let's go to my number 2 spot, and that is the Bare Minerals Hydrating Complexion Rescue Foundation Stick. This one is going to be the least expensive of the 4 that I'm talking about, coming in at only $32. And it also has 0.35 ounces, so it has 1 more gram than the Bobbi Brown and Westman Atelier. And it only comes to $3.20 a gram. So again, it's going to be overall, total, the least expensive, but also per gram, the least expensive. This is the newest one out of all of the ones I'm going to be talking about. I do have an entire video review on this. This one has 20 shades, so it's not as much as the Bobbi Brown, but it's more than the Westman Atelier. It claims to have a medium coverage with a natural finish, and this one does only claim to be for normal, dry, or combo skin. So it does not say that it's appropriate for oily skin, which I'm glad for because I don't necessarily think that it is. I think it's going to be a little too emollient, a little too dewy, and not last long enough on oily skin. So I appreciate the fact that they don't try to include everybody so that everybody buys it, that they're honest about the fact that this is more for dry, normal, and combos. And this also has an SPF of 25. Now it is a mineral SPF of titanium dioxide, but it's only a 4.15%. So I do not recommend relying on this solely for your SPF. It's great that it's a little bit of an added punch of coverage, but it's not enough for the entire day and the entire face. This has over 30% of volcanic seawater. So it is a water-based foundation, and again, over 30% they say is a volcanic seawater, which also helps with hydration. And it also has red algae extract to retain moisture. I am in the color Ginger 06. Now, this has a lot of the same benefits as far as application and wear time as the Bobbi Brown. The reason it beat it out for me personally is that I like the finish a little bit more. It's a little bit more luminous. I love to be luminous. I love to shine. I love a radiant finish. And I do feel like that this one has much more of that than the Bobbi Brown. This is the most emollient one I'm going to talk about, which means that blending is like a dream. You can blend it out in 2 seconds. You can blend it out with your fingers. You can blend it out with a sponge. You can blend it out with a brush. It doesn't matter. It blends out so well. And I do believe that it has a medium coverage like it claims to have. Don't think you're going to be able to build this up anymore, but with the finish that it has, I don't think you need much more than a medium coverage. I would just suggest, you know, concealing any areas that might need a little bit more coverage. But this is just absolutely gorgeous on the skin. It does wear really well for me. Again, I've done a whole video. The video footage that I did on this, it looked a little bit more like makeup on me at the end of the day on camera, but it doesn't look like that. It looks very much like skin. I get a lot of compliments on my makeup when I wear this. Really recommend it if you are in that dry, normal to combo range. Now, let's get to my very favorite one, which you obviously have been able to deduce, and that is the Tom Ford Traceless Foundation Stick. Again, I have done a whole review on this. This is phenomenal. I love this. It's what I have on my skin today. It's so good. Now, it is expensive. It is $87, but you get a whopping 0.5 ounces in this, 15 grams, which is way more than all the rest that I've talked about. So you are paying more. However, when you mark it down to how much it costs per gram, it's only $5.80 a gram. So yes, that's more expensive than the Bare Minerals. It's even a little bit more expensive than Bobbi Brown, but only by a few cents. And it is less expensive than the Westman Atelier. So you are getting more product. And in the long run, if you care about how much product you're getting overall versus how much you're spending, this is going to be the best bet other than the Bare Minerals, in my opinion, because you're getting so much. It's so fabulous, paying a much lower amount per gram. So this comes in 29 shades. So again, it's not quite as good as the Bobbi Brown, but it's just one shade short, and it is more than Westman Atelier and Bare Minerals. I have the color 6.5 Sable. This is more my summer color. However, I have it on today, and I feel like I could get it to work. It just works a little bit better for me in the summer. There wasn't as much information on this foundation online as the other foundations per se. It does claim to be full coverage, natural finish, and again, I appreciate the fact that it does say it's only good for normal to dry skin types. Now, I have had a couple of people with oily skin tell me that they absolutely love this foundation, so you're going to take it as you will. I would suggest going to Nordstrom. They are very open with their samples, and they will scrape off a little bit of this for you to take home and try it that way if you have oily skin. Now, why is this my favorite of favorites? Other than saying it looks like perfection on the skin, I really don't know what else to say. It looks like perfection on the skin all day long. It's the perfect balance of luminous and matte, if that makes sense. Like, it's right perfect in the middle of that. It does not get more luminous throughout the day. It works with all primers for me. It works with all powders for me. It's very easy to blend out. It's emollient, but not too emollient to where you feel like it's going to slide off your face. It's hydrating. It doesn't feel tight. It looks like skin. It lasts all day. I mean, what other positive thing could you say about a foundation? Because whatever you could say about a foundation, I would say it about this. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's convenient. I travel with this all the time because I'm not worried about anything spilling or coming out of a pump. I don't have to, put it through in my TSA approved bag. Like, it's cream, so it's easy. It's easy and it looks so good. It is so luxurious on the skin as well as being a luxurious product. I understand it's expensive, but with the VIB sale starting today, I believe, if I put this up on schedule, this is something that I would recommend checking out. If you are within that normal to dry to possibly even combo skin type, I would definitely give this one a try. It's just glorious. So what I want to know from you, and here's a little caveat, I want to know, according to those cutaways that I did, what was your favorite on my skin? And if it's the Westman Atelier, that's okay. The only thing I don't need, because I've done this before, and I think it's comical how people just, I don't know. I know God made us all different, and praise him for that, because it'd be really boring if we were all the same. But some people just say stuff that I would never think to say over a keyboard to anybody's face or whatever, because I've done this before and they're like, I like this one. The other one looks so bad on your skin. Like, I really did not like that one. I'm thinking, did you have to say that? Like, just say which one you like the best. So that's just a little side note. I would like to know which one you like the best, but if you didn't like any of them, you don't have to comment. Like, we could just leave it at that. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. It gave you some ideas of maybe some stick foundations you haven't tried and gave you a full review of the ones that I have, because I know a lot of y'all have been asking me to do like a separate foundation review on the Westman Atelier. I haven't talked as much about the Bobbi Brown, like I haven't done a separate review on that. So hopefully it helped in some form or fashion. As always, thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know what your favorite stick foundation is down in the comment section below, even if it's one of the ones that I said don't work for my skin. That is okay, because again, we are all different. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. And as always, I hope y'all all go out and have a very blessed day.